All right. I think we're ready. Sorry about that, talk. Took me a little bit. Yeah, like I posted in Discord, I had trouble falling asleep last night, which isn't good when you know, when I need to when I'm planning on doing something today. So, I mean, you know, happens, I guess. All right. So we're finishing. I put the title and stuff as Outlast, but we're finishing her story first, right? So I now can't remember for sure, but I think this is what we did was this screen. If this is wrong, I'll adjust it, of course. Oh. Yep. Also, this. Give me a second. These. Yes? Yes. I think it's this one. I think this is the one. This will show me the terms, right, that I did not do or whatever. Is this showing up now properly? Can't tell because of that. Hang on. No. So is it this one? No. Oh, it's this one, isn't it? I don't remember now. I'm trying to... No, incorrect. Okay. Which window did I use for this? It's gotta be this, and then I just adjusted it, I guess. Does not seem right. This one instead. Is that not what I used? Oh, this is. Okay. I think I got it finally. Oh, I forget stuff like this, but I do. Alright. Yeah, let me know if this still looks weird or wrong or something to you, but I think this should be right now. Does the display for her story look correct for you then, Patak? I just, for the ending of it, I want to make sure it's like lined up right and stuff, right? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, good. I know there's delay, so. But it also means that I have to wait for you to reply, and so sometimes I may respond too quickly because I think I've had enough time, but I haven't, so, okay. Okay, we've tried most of these, so let's see what we're missing still. I'm not going to keep track, but we were obviously quite a ways away last time when I thought we were close. We were at least like 15 or something away from all the videos we needed. Did all of these. 2 for Palindrome. Hey, Siluel, welcome. Okay, we've done a lot of these also, but I'm just making sure we don't miss anything. Glass unlocks 5. Glazier, which is the person who makes the glass, or the shop where they make the glass, unlocks, 7, but 5 it says, okay. Blonde with an E. Okay, and then Kurtz. This says shirt unlocks 5, but only 1 shows up when I search for it. I'm not sure how they get unlocks 5 with that. Hopefully this list will still work. Okay. Friday. Unlocks 2. Rock. See, and this unlocks 4. Now having more unlocked than it says is fine because I did add some keywords, but having fewer doesn't make sense. It should unlock at least as many as they say, but okay. Stupid. Always. Married. Unlocks a ton. This says unlocks 4, but again, if I have a lot more, that's probably because I added married to them. Okay, hurt. 14 seems seems awfully high, but whatever. Pub. After? Seems like an odd term to search. This could be a problem. If I've added keywords and I get too many, there may be some I can't view. Oh, this could be an issue. Because if I have some that I can never see now, I might have screwed myself. Crap. Hopefully not. We'll see. Round. Around. Silver. Private. Us. Dad. Not having a lot of hope now, but we'll see. It's looking less and less like I'm gonna get everything because I screwed something up by adding too many keywords. That both for being a soft room, yeah. Yeah, I mean, clearly she's got mental problems, right? She obviously does not see reality as it is. I'm feeling like she probably killed him, but it was probably an accident, and she may or may not remember that she killed him. Like, she might have shut that part of her brain off. I obviously don't know for sure, but... Fingerprints. Lawn? Okay. Wasn't says it unlocks 1. I don't. What if I do this? It wasn't to the roads. None. Okay, so I guess that won't work. Grove. Early. Respect. Sounds. Child instead of children. If I've missed one, like if I go through and there's a video that I can play that's new and I haven't played it yet, let me know. Well, there are a couple things here, Patak, and I'm not saying this will change your opinion at all. I'm sure it won't. But for me, so there are a couple of things. First of all, you can already, I think, probably solve this or try to solve this, like try to get the ending. I think you probably already can do like the ending and stuff. And this is not just for the achievement. The only reason I'm trying to look through all these things is to make sure that I didn't miss a part of the story, so everything will make sense when the game concludes, right? But, I mean, if you're an achievement hunter, that's different, of course. Then obviously you want to get all of these. But I'm not. I just more want a complete story. I don't want to have the ending where she says something or somebody else says something and I'm like, wait, what? Huh? How's that work? Or whatever. I want it to make sense given all the clues we've had, right? So, yeah, we already did that before. Okay, and then snake. There, cool. Boy. Walk. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think that's correct. I wanted to be sure, but I don't know that it really matters now. I'm pretty sure we already kind of know. Yep. So I'm gonna, if I don't get all the others, I guess I don't get them, and I'll just go back, or I'll, like, just go through the ending anyway. Frame speed. I think the problem, like I said, I think the problem in my particular game is that I added keywords, and so I'm getting like 10 results when I'm maybe only supposed to get 5. With like, if I'd not added the words, I'd only get 5 results. So I would see some of the videos, some of the new videos, but they got pushed off because I can only see 5 at a time. The extras got pushed off the side because I added terms, so more videos show up than are normally supposed to by default. Where are we now? I don't even know. Oh, there. It's either guessing it from too early on, or you have to go through this process. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm not gonna pretend that this is like the most exciting game I've ever played, right? But I will say that I don't hate the game. It's an interesting concept. It was a new thing they tried. They didn't know how it was going to work out, right? Like how well it was going to be received or not. You know, you test new things with new... You have new ideas. You test something out and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then, you know, don't do that again. And if it does work, then you go, yes, I'll do that. Or whatever, right? You know, I'm actually thinking I might have used the wrong list. I might have used that other list I had too, because there's the thing, like this mentioned about Steam censoring the F word and stuff, but you got yours off of like IGN or something, didn't you? Am I using the wrong? Gosh dang it! Am I using the wrong thing? I thought I replaced the list I was using before with your list. Because I've not gotten a single new one out of this. And yes, there have been a few where there were too many videos, but most of these... Yeah, I know. I know where you sent it. I'm trying to see. Give me a second. I swear I copied and pasted, though. I replaced what I had. This does look like what I've been using, though. Let me go back in here and just do a spot check really fast. Yeah, I think I was using the one you sent me. So I don't know. Alright, well, I didn't get anything new with doing that, so. I don't know, I think I screwed myself by adding terms. Okay, so I think we're done. Oh, whoops, that's just quit? I didn't mean just quit. How do I... Oh, log off, I think is the one I do. No? Okay, how do I go upstairs again? Like, or how do I leave, was it that he said? I filed, no one touched. Yeah. Okay. Oh, chit chat. So, you think you understand why your mother did what she did. So this is our mother. Did you expect it to be our mother? I did not. That was a nice twist. I did not expect that. Okay, in all honesty, which of you two, or anybody else who's watching, guessed that it was the bomb? No new video, I guess. I typed all of them in. Like I said, I think it's a problem, my own problem, because you can add keywords. So if there's a video that did not have a keyword, if I added a keyword, now it will show up, and you can only view 5 videos at a time. So if there were like 5 or 6 extra videos where I added like murder or something to them, we might have 10 things that show up for murder. I can only see 5 with the interface though. So if I've added those terms, I've shot myself in the foot. So. Yeah, I think so. Kappa, yeah, sure. I'm glad, Sarah. I'll be waiting outside. Log off and we can meet over the road. So we're Sarah. Reflection achievement unlocked. Interesting. Yeah. Confused? I'm gonna need to see an explanation. I'm not sure I totally understand either. The problem, stupid throat. The problem is I'm trying to remember how No, I think that's incorrect. I think we just haven't figured it out. I think we maybe thought we were, but we've not. I think you're wrong. I think they have given us the answer. I think we just didn't understand the answer. Yeah, I don't know, yeah. I think I'm gonna, as soon as this is done, I'm going to watch a YouTube, I'll do it on stream here. I'm gonna watch a YouTube video and watch somebody explain it just so I understand. SB Sarah, if you're stuck, you could always try admin random or the unlock something. So I could do this, admin random. Lucky dip. Achievement. But I wasn't trying to get, that's an Oxford clearance thing. Conference. Yeah, okay. So give me a second here. Let me I'm just gonna go to YouTube. We're just gonna use YouTube. I know. My brain does not want to figure it out now. Hang on. All right, let's do this, and let's see how much of this does or does not show up. Okay, I'll just bring this over so it's full, like it's this. Yep, okay. I think, oh, maybe we're not. Average is 2. Yeah, it's not enough. Okay. Let's just leave that. Let's do something else. That's too much. That's too much. All right, I'll just do this. Okay, here's the explanation. You ready? Harass. Interesting connection. All right. Well, here we go. Here's the explanation. You ready? Here we go. I'll end up splitting the stream up later, so if I get hit with copyright or like somebody else like, well, you took my video, that's fine, because I'll just break it up and cut this out. And then I'll just, anyway. Let's see how far off I am from what I thought. It'll spoil the entirety. Do not watch until you finish the game. I mean, we tried to finish the game.
Her Story is a fascinating game about piecing together the story of Hannah Smith as she gives interview testimony on 7 different occasions. As you pull clips from a computerized filing system by searching for words spoken in that video, you'll unravel the truth and understand what happened and why. But the game is open-ended and in a way open to interpretation. There's no quiz at the end, no video clip that explains everything, no final cutscene, so you're left to puzzle out exactly what happened on your lonesome. If the game left you confused, let us explain what happened. And as we said at the top, this will spoil the game, so this is your last warning to leave the video before you ruin this brilliant indie game for yourself. Okay, go on? Good. Right. Hannah Smith killed her husband, Simon Smith. That much I think anyone could have predicted. What you were probably surprised to learn is that you're not just watching Hannah give testimony, but also a woman who looks exactly like her, called Eve. We think that on June 18th, Eve is being interviewed, but pretending to be Hannah. Then on June 25th, it's Hannah, and on June 27th, Eve is back, again pretending to be Hannah. We think this because we will later learn that Hannah receives a bruise on her face in a fight before any of the interviews take place, but she only has it during the second interview. In the third, it's gone, and Eve touches the wrong side of her face.
I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
Interesting. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? So she's bruised on what for us is the right side. Here, she's rubbing the left side. Or, you know, the reverse for her. So she's rubbing the wrong side of the face. I still think it's split personality disorder. Yeah, because I don't think it's schizophrenia. Because just because she killed Simon doesn't mean that she's schizophrenic, right? She doesn't have a huge outburst. Well, I mean, when she burns herself with the coffee. But otherwise, she doesn't really have a huge outburst where she's angry and violent and stuff in the interviews, right? So we don't have enough evidence to suggest that. So I think that's wrong.
I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
The woman in the third clip also has morning sickness and will soon find out that Eve is the one who is pregnant. On the 30th of June, Hannah is back. We know this.
So which one is Eve and which is Hannah again? Yeah. So these are Hannah. Okay. And these are Eve.
It's because she has no
Long
tattoo
hair.
on her arm.
Or,
Like Eve.
her hair not being down is Eve. She has a tattoo and she doesn't. Yeah, I didn't actually, I missed that. I wasn't paying attention to the tattoo going away when it was Hannah. Interesting.
Eve does in the next session on July 1st. It's hard to tell who is there for the short interview that takes place on July 2nd, but on July 3rd it's definitely Eve. She fails a lie detector test about her name.
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. My name? That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
And then fesses up. This interview with Eve in the white shirt is the source of most of the truth about her story, though I guess the caveat is that we don't get Hannah's side of the story on any of this, so we just have to trust what Eve is saying.
Interesting. Yeah, I probably should have. I did not focus on day by day. Right, so what's happened basically is this interview, July 7th, so right, or July, not 7th, I said the same number as the month, July 3rd, right, so 3 July, 94. So this interview here, right, is just Hannah. She called herself Eve, but it's actually Hannah. And so when she's saying stuff on this day, she failed a lie detector test. So anything she says is subject to suspicion on this day, because if she's lied on the test, she may be lying on the other interviews on the same day. Yeah. I actually did have the thought. I was like, I wonder how many days she came in, because she talks about coming back in, and we have the dates, but because I was live streaming it, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time extra on that, right? I should have. That's unlike me. I really should have paid attention to that. But yeah, so on this particular day, July 3rd, everything she says should fall under suspicion. Even if you didn't suspect on other days, everything on this day should be suspicious, because she lied on the test, so that means anything else she says could also be a ruse.
With that being said, let's go through everything from the girl's birth to this testimony in a whirlwind tour of Hannah and Eve's life. This is her story. First of all, the girls are indeed twins.
So she's not multiple personality disorder. They are twins. Okay.
When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead.
Did we get this particular interview? I feel like we didn't get this one. I feel like this is one we didn't we didn't get. Hang on. I think that's one we missed. Let's do this again really fast. Whoops. This one. No. What? How? This. What the heck? Why is it not showing up now? There we go. I'm gonna look for midwife, just in case. No, we did see it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't remember seeing that video clip. So. Kill it again. Okay. Let's go back to the video. I'm not sure. That did not sound familiar. I guess we must have. What? We must have seen it early on or something and I forgot about it. Okay, well, let's continue.
But a midwife called Florence split them up, took Eve in and raised her as her own daughter. Eventually, Hannah and Eve meet.
We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back.
But when Florence dies, Eve goes to Hannah's house and lives in Hannah's attic. Throughout their childhood and teenage years, the two girls would swap places. They embrace each other's unique strengths and keep a diary to stay on the same page.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match.
They also shared boys, but when Hannah meets Simon, she decides she won't share this man with her twin sister.
Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him.
Yeah, that's an important distinction too, right? Now, I was, like I said earlier, I was starting to think that she had split personality disorder, but there was definitely like a degree of jealousy, at least, with it, right? Because one thing that I had noticed kind of early on was that Eve, so here, Eve was frustrated. Like, so Hannah moved on and got married to Simon, right? And so because Hannah married Simon, as a lot of people, or I'm not talking about Will Smith and Jada Smith, okay? But in most marriages, once you get married, you stay committed to the person you're married to, right? Which means not only that Hannah no longer was going to sleep with other guys, but Hannah also was no longer comfortable with Eve also sleeping with the same guys. Like during their teen years and stuff, Hannah and Eve would sleep with the same guys, right? Also at college or whatever. But once Hannah got married, Hannah was like, yeah, I'm not okay with that now. I don't, you can't sleep. You're not allowed to sleep with Simon. I'm not okay with that. Which is understandable. That's what any normal, rational person would do when they get married. They're like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not okay with you sleeping with my wife. I know swingers exist in the world and stuff, but they're like few and far between, and I think those people honestly have something broken in their head. Anyway, so that's not a normal thing to do the swingers or any of that kind of stuff, right? So Hannah was not okay with that. And especially, this is supposed to be 1994. So back then, you know, this is now, not quite, but almost 30 years ago. So in 1994, this would have been a even bigger problem, right? Nowadays, there's all the I'm pansexual, I'm asexual, I'm demisexual, whatever, right? And there's all the like trying to redefine relationships and stuff, like how they're supposed to work. That's kind of a thing now, I guess, but in the 90s, that was almost unheard of. There were some people outside of the norm. There were still homosexuals. There were still transsexuals, although at the time they were, there were transgender, but at the time they were either transsexuals or transvestites or whatever, is what they were called. Anyway, so those existed, but they were very few and far between, right? So, but yeah. So because that was so rare back then, or at least there were so few people claiming those things, homosexual was more common, but like the transsexual and stuff was very, very rare, at least as far as society knew. Anyway, because that was that didn't happen so often back then, the result was that this kind of stuff, like being willing to share your partners and stuff, was very unusual, very abnormal. And so this wasn't really a normal thing. So in a normal marriage back then, they would have been committed to each other, or if somebody did not stay faithful in the marriage, then it was seen as cheating, not as I need to find myself, man, or whatever. So anyway.
I didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed.
And things get especially complicated when Hannah gets pregnant and moves out of her family house and into Simon's. Eve tries, but she can't get pregnant to match, and she's stuck in the attic of Hannah's parents' house. But then Hannah loses the baby, and doctors say this made her infertile.
I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
That same year, in 1984, Hannah's parents die, and Simon and Hannah move into the parents' home. But Eve moves out.
Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings.
Then one day, she meets Simon at a show.
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness.
They sleep together and Eve gets pregnant, but she doesn't tell Simon or Hannah.
I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him.
On the twins' birthday, the day of the murder, Eve tells Hannah about her baby.
I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both.
So Eve broke the rules, right? Or, well, the rules had changed, Eve said. And then Eve maybe not broke the rules, because in Eve's mind, maybe the rules were supposed to be still the same. Maybe it was supposed to still be we can share. But she did know for sure that Hannah was upset with it, or would be upset by it, right? That Hannah did not want it. Hannah did not want to share. So this is now two offenses against Hannah, right? Number one, Eve slept with Simon when Hannah did not want her to. That's the obvious one. I think they're both kind of obvious. But the second is that Hannah lost her baby and became infertile. So she could no longer have children either. But Eve got pregnant and kept her baby. And so I think anyway, so yeah, so that's like two points of friction between Hannah and Eve. Eve slept with Simon even though Hannah asked her not to, and Eve got pregnant even though Hannah lost her baby. So now Hannah feels like hurt twice by Eve and what Eve did.
But she lies about the father.
I told her it was one of my boyfriends, someone I had met in the bar.
When Simon comes home that day, he gives Hannah a unique mirror as a birthday present.
He made it himself. It's a special one-off. He made it. He decorated it.
I wonder if this is Simon feeling guilty for sleeping with Hannah, which he should, by the way. What a piece of garbage, honestly. What a piece of garbage. I don't care if she looked like Hannah or not. You don't sleep with somebody else because they look like your wife, or I don't even know what he was thinking. Even if Eve was trying to be seductive, if Simon was smart, and I'm talking wise, I'm not talking about if he's moral. If he's moral, he wouldn't have slept with her either. But if he was smart, he would have left as soon as he noticed Eve was hitting on him, right? So he could be like, this is weird. He goes start talking to Eve, but as soon as he noticed Eve was hitting on him, he should have gotten up and left that club. He should not have stayed. Then he stayed, kept talking, kept flirting, presumably. And then for sure he should have refused when Eve suggested that they go sleep together. So in my mind, yes, there was a murder, and yes, murder is bad, and yes, she should be held accountable, responsible for everything that she did. But I'm honestly starting to think that Simon is the bigger scumbag here. Because Simon, it doesn't matter if she looked like Hannah. Simon knew it wasn't Hannah. He knew it wasn't Hannah, right? Because he didn't go to the bar with Hannah. He left Hannah at home or wherever she was, out with friends, whatever. But he left Hannah somewhere else. He knew where she was. He went to this place, this club, and then found Eve there. Oh, I'm not saying he deserved to die. I still think that Hannah, Eve, whoever killed him, I still think that she deserves punishment. She should be in prison for life, if not just, given an execution sentence. But that doesn't mean that Simon's not a piece of garbage. Like Simon did not get justice by getting killed. I don't think it's just to kill somebody over something like that. I mean, it's disgusting that they did that, but I don't remember which one he said Hannah killed him. But I think he'll summarize at the end. Anyway, but my point is that I don't think Simon deserved to die over it, but I do think that Simon was a piece of garbage. I think that they should have. There was a hint he was unfaithful. There's talk about barmaid he likes to be with. Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah, there was a hint at it, but when I did further searching, we didn't really get more information on that. So I thought it was just maybe she was jealous, not so much that he was unfaithful. But now we understand that he was unfaithful. What a piece of garbage, dude. I'm sorry, but what a piece of garbage. Anybody could be tempted. Anybody can find themselves in a bad situation and be like, oh crap, that's where we are. And, then if you fall, if you give into temptation or something, right, that's messed up. So anybody could be in a bad circumstance suddenly. I'm not saying that justifies cheating. I'm just saying that at least is understandable that you fell into a situation you weren't expecting and now you're in trouble. But when you go to a club see somebody who looks like the wife you know is not there. You get talking with him. She starts flirting. You start flirting back, and then you agree to sleep with her? I mean, I'm sorry, but no. I think you just accepted that you were going to cheat really early in the conversation or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't think Simon has any excuse. I think Simon, like I said, I think Simon was a scumbag. Even if he wasn't happy in his marriage with Hannah, sorry, you agreed to that. Get divorced if you don't want to stay married to her or want to go somewhere else. And yes, I know divorce can be expensive. I don't care. You made a commitment. You're a scumbag if you break it and just give in to temptation because reasons. I'm sorry. Yeah, like why would you cheat with somebody who looks like your partner? Yeah, like isn't the idea of cheating that you're tired of your partner? I mean, I guess the personality could have been different enough. Still, I just can't. I can't see any reason why he would ever even be remotely close to justified in cheating. He's a dirtbag to me. He's a dirtbag. That's all it is. He's a dirtbag. He did not deserve to die over it, but he is scum. Okay, anyway.
That's his thing.
Oh, yeah. So, I was going to say, so this mirror, Simon had cheated, so this mirror is the guilt gift, right? Hi, honey. Don't ask me. Like, hi, honey. Don't ask me if I cheated. Please don't ask me if I cheated. I love you so much. Here's a mirror I made especially for you. Just don't ask me if I cheated. Please don't ask me if I cheated. It's a guilt gift, right? The guy's a scumbag. He knew it was wrong, and now he's trying to, like, pretend like it didn't happen. Dude, you broke your whole marriage. It's your own fault. You're a scumbag. Anyway.
Hannah then finally tells Simon about Eve and Eve's pregnancy and says she wants to help her twin sister. About Eve.
Say it again. One more time. Let me hear it one more time again.
Hannah then finally tells Simon about Eve and Eve's pregnancy and says she wants to help her twin sister.
Hannah finally tells Simon about Eve and Eve's pregnancy. Right. So this is now more. Simon's starting to put more pieces together, really going, oh crap, I really am in the dog doo-doo. Right? Because he already feels guilty for cheating on her. He buys her, or not buys her, he makes her the gilded mirror, so the mirror with gold on it and stuff. He makes her the special mirror because he feels guilty. And then she tells him, oh, by the way, I have a twin sister, or basically a twin. Yeah, a twin sister called Eve, who got pregnant from her boyfriend. So we need to help her out. Simon's like, from her boyfriend, got pregnant. Huh. Yeah, we should totally help her out, realizing he very well could be the father. What a scumbag. Dude, what a friggin' scumbag. Man, Simon is worse and worse in my mind now. I still don't think he deserves to die, but what a scum, dude. Okay, anyway.
Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had.
But
she knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew.
So she kicks him out.
Yep. So Hannah kicks Simon out. Good. Yeah. As soon as she said that, Simon just had this look of guilt on his face. Yeah. Yeah, and he got killed by a piece of glass from the mirror. Yep, exactly. How ironic. The guilt gift is what gets him killed.
Hannah calls up Eve and they fight.
We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off.
The bruise was yeah, so the fight was, this is now, the stuff she's talking about, the fight they had and stuff, is very recent. I mean, recent for when the interviews were made. Like, the interviews were made not very long after Eve punched Hannah and left the bruise.
Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
Eve goes to Glasgow in her car.
I was driving badly and I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. He made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine.
He made sure I got to the hospital. So I had originally thought he was referring to, like, maybe it was the taxi driver or something. Now I think because now I think he is Simon, because Simon had been kicked out already by Hannah. And so he now was, I think, kind of maybe trying to pursue a relationship with Eve. I mean, if he got kicked out and she wasn't going to forgive him, which I don't think she should, then the question is, does he just go completely somewhere else to look to find love again? Or does he now, because he's had a relationship with Eve, does he go to her instead? It sounds like he went to her, or at least was checking up on her because he decided he cared about her, because one night of passion. Moron. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, anyway.
The hospital must have details when I was looked at.
Which makes her say,
That should eliminate me as a suspect. If I was in Glasgow, can't be in two places at once.
more on that in a moment.
But then that's interesting. Maybe he is... No, he's got to be Simon, though. I'm so confused on that. She says she's not a suspect because she was in Glasgow, a completely different city. However, she said that Simon checked on her. So was she really in a completely different place? Because if Simon checked on her, Simon went to the hospital. So, I don't know. Maybe he's BBC News. Maybe.
Back home, we get this.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me.
So Hannah is now feeling like... So she kicked Simon out, and now Hannah's feeling like maybe she shouldn't have. She's like, well, if I maybe if I just am more like Eve, maybe Simon will come back to me. Hannah, just leave him. Let him stay gone. He's a scum. Don't let him come back. Ah, that sucks. I didn't know that was still referring to the same incident. Crap. Dude, I feel really bad for Hannah now. Even if Hannah killed him, and if she did, then she deserves to get punished. But even if she killed him, I feel bad for her now. I don't get the mindset. Why does anyone even bother? I mean, there's a reason that there's the saying, love makes you do crazy things. Sometimes when you're in love, things, I guess, for me at least, my own experience, the best way I can explain it, and I'm not saying you don't know what love's like, I'm just saying from my perspective on love, what I've gone through, my mind gets clouded sometimes when I'm in love. Like, I don't think logically the same way. I still think logically, but I don't it's hard to say. I think certain things that I wouldn't otherwise think, I guess, is maybe a good way to say it. So, for example, if I see somebody talking, let's say to my girlfriend, there's a part in my brain, because I am insecure about love, let's say, there's a part in my brain that will make me start to question, wait, is she flirting with him? And so that can be a problem, right? Oh, definitely. I mean, well, so this is what I I agree. So this is what I was going to tie in, actually. So when you're in love, things like your own insecurities can make you start to suspect things that aren't there, right? So for example, in this case, or in the, not in this case, in the case I was talking about, okay, if I see my girlfriend talking with somebody, I might be like, is she flirting with him? Okay, that's a possibly that's a common reaction different people have, right? That comes from insecurity. Like maybe you never felt good enough to be in the relationship with her. Like you're happy being with her, but you don't feel like you're good enough for her. Like you're always questioning yourself. Like how does she put up with my stupid sense of humor? How does she put up with my temper? How does she put up with my not paying enough attention to her? Whatever it might be, right? You start to second guess yourself and wonder about stuff like that. Now take that can normally happen because a lot of people have lower self-esteem on something like that. So take that and now add to that somebody who has a certain degree of looking at the world differently. Let me say it that way. I was thinking like psychosis or something like that. I don't know that that's true necessarily in this case, but take somebody who looks at the world differently, like they clearly did, right? They were, before Simon, they were sharing boyfriends. Clearly they see the world differently than most people would, right? So if they have that kind of attitude, generally, that tells us their brain doesn't work necessarily like the average person's brain does. So if their brain isn't working the same way, you get in a situation like this, who knows what's going on in their head, right? They're starting to think, wait. My world is falling apart or something, right? Yeah, and that's something a lot of people do, right? A lot of people decide, I'm not going to get in a serious relationship until I am set, that I've established myself, that I know this is what I want, or that I know that I can provide for my family, or whatever it might be, right? Yeah. Nope. And that's definitely that's a perspective a lot of people take. Yep. But anyway, that's my point, is you take that normal, or not normal, maybe, I don't know what's normal per se, but take that very common attitude in a serious relationship, right? Where you start to get jealous or something. Take something like that, and now you add to that somebody whose mind doesn't work like a lot of people's minds work. That could be a recipe for disaster, right? So anyway, yep.
He said He wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror.
So he's decided Eve is the one he wants to be with now? And he even goes and buys her another present. Wow. Being an only child from parents who hooked up at a very young age, totally unprepared. I definitely took a lesson from that. Yeah. I mean, there obviously is such a thing as going in too early, yeah. Talk reminds you of the first Austin Power movie where the lead woman tries to rid herself of her insecurity by having a talk, and Austin just slaps the truth to her face. Yeah. Yeah. It's not that they didn't like each other back then. They did. They're just totally unprepared for life. Yeah. If you've not seen it, Bill Burr has a great stand-up where he discusses that. He talks about relationships and marriage, but also like he's basically he more or less it comes down to he decided he was not going to get married for a really long time. He didn't want to get married at all. For a very long time, that's what his attitude was I'm just not getting married. And the reason is because he saw his dad growing up, and that was the potential problems in that relationship. He said, like every couple of days, his dad would just suddenly get really angry and start complaining about his marriage and stuff. And he'd yell at his mom a lot and stuff. He said, he got married to his mom, like Bill Burr's dad got married to Bill Burr's mom right after high school. And so they didn't have any training on how to be parents. And he had did he say 5 kids? I can't remember now. I think 5 kids by the time he was 29, I think it was. Basically, he's late 20s and the guy already had 5 kids. And so he just had all this pressure. And so he said, he felt, Bill Burr felt that his parents were just unprepared for everything. So yeah, it's possible. That's one way to look at it, right? And so, different people are prepared in different ways too, right? Some people are ready for marriage and some people aren't. I'm not going to judge whether you or somebody else is ready or not. That's something they have to decide for themselves. I don't know that is necessarily effed up. I think it depends. Like I said, I think some people already have the proper mindset. Maybe even in high school, they were already trying to figure out, okay, when we have kids, when I have kids someday, this is what I'll do with them. Maybe they're already thinking about those things, right? Most people in their teenage years are not thinking about the kind of stuff, but some are. There are some who, when they're a teenager, already imagine what their wedding will be like. They imagine how many kids they'll have. They even know names they're going to give their kids. They know, they even talk to themselves in their mind. I'm not saying they talk to themselves no, I'm not talking about crazy, but they will, in their minds, think about when it comes time to talk about sex, this is what we'll talk about. Or their first time when they get in a fight at school, this is how we'll talk about it, right? They have these scenarios in their head that they walk through how they will deal with it with their children. I'm not saying they have the right answers, but there are people with that kind of mentality where they already are trying to prepare themselves. So when it comes time to have kids, they're ready, or at least they maybe are more ready than other people. Because here's a counter argument, okay? You talk about your experience, Patak, and your parents, and Bill Burr being in kind of that same boat, his parents. But here's my situation. My mom and dad also got married straight out of high school. Now, he was in the Navy at the time in the Vietnam War, so he would be away for some of the time. But they got married right out of high school. They had my brother, my older brother. They had him first, okay? Then one time when after a couple of years, I mean, he visited more often than that, but so he visited, or sorry, they got married. They had my brother. He went away on, duty. He came back and visited, went away, came back and visited several times, right? One of the times that he returned to visit my mom, they had sex and she got pregnant and she had me. Okay? He went away again. Anyway, had several times where he would go away. He was deployed on his ship, so he was gone, and then he'd come back, and then they'd have sex and they'd have another child, okay? So they had my older brother, then me, then they had another baby that my mom had a miscarriage for, and then finally they had my sister. So they had 4 kids in total, although one of them was a miscarriage. Okay. Anyway, so they had, since the miscarriage happened, they had 3 kids they had to raise from pretty young. My dad had a big temper when they first got married, and he had all that pressure. But I think they did a great job raising us. I think we had a really happy childhood, and I think that they had a very happy marriage. They never got divorced the whole time. They never got divorced. They never cheated. None of that. My dad, still to this day, my dad's like in his 70s. He's 74, I think, turning 74 this year. My dad, to this day, still talks about my mom like she's his whole entire world. So, hey, Fofox. Hey, Fofox, welcome. Oh, I missed. Hang on, let's go. If by any chance you're financially sorted at an early age, you're already a big step ahead of most people. Yeah, that's a good point too, Patak. Many times people have marriage problems, fights, or divorces or whatever because of financial difficulty. That's true. My parents were no different. They had fights when I was a kid, and they had financial difficulties. But their fights always calmed down, and my dad's temper quickly got muted or held back because my mom said, you're not going to keep getting angry like this, or we're not going to stay married very long. And he loved her so much, he stopped getting angry. He stopped letting that happen. Anyway, but my point is just, they could still be in a similar situation, right? They did not have a lot of money. They did not have everything already understood and figured out for parents. My dad had all this pressure, 3 kids, always pressure. How am I going to feed them and stuff? But they stayed married all that time, right? Yeah, it's sad when they have the miscarriage. It's true. Golem talking of a relationship with himself would be something I would see at least once. Yeah. Yep. That's a good point, Slow. Anyway, you get the idea. So this is the point: is marriage young can be risky. Like there are a lot of things that go into it that could cause the marriage to have serious problems and even fail. But it's not always bad for young couples. So I think it just depends on the couple. I'm not going to tell somebody whether they should or should not be married when they're young. That's their decision. I'm just saying that it's not automatically good, but it often is a problem also. Yeah. Yeah, it can be a rarity. I do think also, though, it could be more common than it is. I think a lot of times, so one of the problems is the world has kind of taught people, if you're not happy, just get out. Yes, to a point, I think that can be true. I mean, if there's abuse or something, for sure, get out. Right? But I don't think you automatically just leave the marriage because things are hard. You can also do like this is another thing. I know we're getting on a lot of side tangents. I guess we won't be doing Outlast today. Sorry, bruh. I didn't mean to make this take so long. I have had now, obviously, because I got the gray hair or the white hair to show it, but I have had obviously decades of experience in dealing with different people. Okay, That ranges from anything from like doing customer service, small interactions like that, to longer interactions, watching people close to me have their marriages fall apart, having other friends who are close to me not getting married at all, getting completely angry and frustrated with the other sex, and so just saying, I'm not ever going to get married. I'm not even going to have a girlfriend. Screw all of that. To people having very successful relationships, like my parents, like one of my best friends, very successful marriages. Okay. I have a lot of different perspectives that I've seen over time. So when we're talking about that kind of subject, I feel it's important to understand that things can go wrong in a marriage. Marriages can be hard. But one of the biggest things I've seen, not even specific to marriage, but just in general in life, one of the big things I've seen is there's this really bad attitude generally that people tend to have, including me. I've had that as well, right? Sometimes I have that attitude as well, or I have had that attitude with certain things and changed, okay? But you can always work on yourself. You can always work on improving yourself, okay? So when there's, just think that most people are not ready for relationships, especially nowadays. Look at all my friends. They all still have no idea where they are in life, prolonging colleges and crap like that, let alone having careers and money. Only ones getting somewhat results out of life in early age are the ones that have some sort of financial freedom from either parents or something like that. They alone don't have a lot to offer. And don't get me wrong, think it's all about money. Just think money's a big issue. No, there is. It is. But so what I'm saying is this. When there's a divorce or when there's a relationship just in general that falls apart, it's true. People have said both people are responsible for that relationship collapsing. I do think that's true. However, you can only control what you do, right? So if there's a relationship and there's trouble in the relationship, I think the first step, and I'm not talking about like trying to earn more money. This could be part of this same step, okay? But I think the first step is to improve your own actions and your own attitudes. Do everything you can to be better yourself. I'm not saying that will fix the relationship, because there are two sides to the relationship. You can do all this stuff and change all this stuff about yourself and become better. Okay? You can do all you can to make things better on your side, and the relationship still is bad, because there are two sides. She has to do all of her stuff. Or if it's the reverse, you do all you can and he has to do all his stuff, whatever. But both people have to work on it for the relationship to succeed, right? Obviously. I mean, that just makes sense. However, you can use that as an excuse to start blaming the other person for all the problems also. So in a relationship, you should do all, and I also speak from experience. I've had relationships fail in the past because I kept blaming the other side. I've done that, and that's not good also, right? So it's kind of this I don't know if balancing act is the right phrase to use, but yeah, exactly. So basically what I'm trying to say, right, obviously, is do everything you can to fix the problem that you yourself have, any problems in the relationship you yourself might have. And then If you still see that the relationship is not working, then it might be time to get out of the relationship. So I would say, yes, obviously you could still leave a relationship. Just don't be too quick to do it. Especially if you still have a lot of really great things about the relationship. Don't just leave it because you're frustrated. If you're frustrated, talk about it. Try to improve yourself. And also pay attention to see if they're willing to try to improve themselves. If they're willing to change as well. If both of you are trying to change and improve and become better together, that relationship probably will work out. If one of you refuses, or both of you refuse to change, that relationship is doomed, right? So both have to be willing to change, to make adjustments, and you have to give it a chance and not just bail early. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. Anyway, that's not meant as a soapbox because, like I said, I've had failed relationships myself. Right? I've had a lot of failed relationships, actually. My point is just what I have learned from the failures I've had, and then what I've also learned from seeing people in successful relationships. That's, I think, the approach probably you should take, right? When there are problems, don't get angry. I mean, you know, it's understandable if you initially maybe get frustrated or something, but don't let that frustration or anger or whatever blow up. Instead, try to step away maybe from each other temporarily. I don't mean like one of you leaves the country or something. I just mean like maybe like take some time in separate rooms in the house or something, whatever. But take some time and don't focus on what they're doing. And it's hard not to sometimes because you're like, if you're really upset with what happened and you saw them do something that upset you, it's easy to just go, she always kept doing this, blah, 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 blah. That's, you know, that's a natural reaction. But instead of doing that, try to let that go. Like try to get out of the anger, away from the anger, and focus on yourself and try to think, okay, what have I done that contributed to that? What have I done that maybe hurt her? What can I change that will improve things? Not just the situation, although yes, the situation too, but also what can I do to change, or what can I change about myself that will make things better in the future so we don't have these kinds of arguments. It doesn't mean you won't ever have more arguments. It also doesn't mean you won't ever fight about the same thing again. But hopefully, as you continue to change over time, those arguments become fewer and fewer until you don't argue about that anymore because you've moved on to a better place, right? Anyway, so that's kind of my personal view on all of that. Work on changing yourself also, but ultimately do pay attention because if the other person refuses to change, that's a problem. Now, pulling that full circle back around to this game and the story in this game. This was an unhealthy relationship. Apparently. It sounds like it maybe early on was happy, but there are obviously several red flags. The fact that Simon was willing to cheat on her is obviously a red flag. The fact that Simon cheated on Hannah with Eve, who looks almost just like Hannah, is a huge red flag. Like you were saying earlier, Patak, why would you cheat with somebody that looks exactly the same? Is it just the personality that's a problem? Like, if it's just the personality that frustrates you, maybe you need to talk about things and work on changing, like we were just talking about, right? And Hannah clearly had issues, at least with her self-esteem, right? Hannah decided, Simon cheated on me, so I'm going to kick him out. Oh, but by the way, I really miss him and I want him back. Okay, I mean, understandable. But, so I'm going to get him back by dressing like Eve and acting like Eve. Really? So, if applying it to a more recent thing, but obviously switching the sexes around. Okay, hang on. Let me read your comment. Okay. Why is this not going back down? Okay. I have a female. Okay, stop. Okay, pause on typing stuff so I can read. Hang on. I have a female friend that is a couple of years older than me, and she's in a relationship that in my mind looks pretty healthy. At least from what I saw and from what she let us closer friends know. Her fiance is one of those adrenaline addict guys. She likes him because of that a lot, because her life is never boring with him. But at the same time, now she wants to be a mom who's afraid to tell him because she's afraid he'll have to become more calm because of the baby. Oh, yeah, that's an interesting situation, yeah. But at the same time, she doesn't want him to change because she likes him the way he is. This is a crossroad for sure, even in a pretty good relationship. Yeah, that is... back this up. Back this up 5. That is interesting. Yeah, that does bring up another point too, which is people do change over time, for the good or for the worse. Right? Like you talk about some of these marriages where the husband is under, or the wife, whatever, but like one of the parents is under all this pressure, all kinds of pressure, right? And is really angry because of it or whatever. A lot of people turn to alcohol. Now over time, maybe you get somebody who was not so, but becomes an alcoholic and gets drunk all the time. And maybe they're an angry drunk or something. Right? A lot of these things can change for the better or for the worse over time. Yeah. And so that is an important thing for relationships, I think, too, right? I'm not talking about like on the first date or something. I think that's probably way too early to talk about it. But if you're going to get in a serious relationship with somebody, I think it's important decently early on. I don't know what the right time is for that, like when the timing should be, but certainly if you've been around for a year, I would say you should have already had the conversation. But that is talking about how to talk about things going in the future. So in other words, circumstances will change. People, a little bit at a time, maybe will change over time. They'll have new interests or something. When we run into these changes, what do we do as a couple? I think you should sit down and talk about that ahead of time. When we have a change, this is how we approach it. So that then when a change happens, you both know already what you're going to do. And then you, hopefully part of that, how you handle changes would be, let's have talks together. Let's walk or something and talk together about what we're going through and how we look at it, like what our view is on it, like what our opinion is on it, and how do we respond to this change, right? I do think that's important. Anyway, so my whole point was just, in this situation, in this story, in her story, this is one of the things, right? This is what you run into. It does not sound like they had any kind of serious, regular talks with each other about life, about how they were feeling, about things they were going through. It doesn't sound like they did that kind of stuff. So, he's still a scumbag for doing so, but Simon was more apt to cheat, I guess, because he got frustrated with their marriage, and instead of talking with Hannah about it, he went to a club, I guess, looking for romance somewhere else. Anyway, it's just all messed up. Anyway, yeah, so he was really screwed up because he was willing to cheat on Hannah with somebody who looks just like Hannah, but just had a different personality. And she was screwed up because she got frustrated because he cheated on her and she kicked him out. Whether you agree or disagree that she should have kicked him out, whatever, but she kicked him out, which is good. Once she did that, she should have, I mean, it's good because she made a decision. But once she made her decision, she should have kept her ground. She should have stuck to her decision. You're scum. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Okay, then stick with that. Keep doing that. He's scum. Don't dress up like Eve and try to bring him back. Because are you going to, for the rest of your life, act like Eve? That's no solution. You're seriously going to try to pretend that all the rest of your life, you're going to act like Eve and everything will be okay? Eve does not have the same personality as you. Why would you think that solves anything? Yeah, both of them. I mean, he seems really, to me, it seems more like weird. Why would you cheat with a twin? Yeah, I don't understand that, right? Now, some people have a fetish for twins. Like, twins are hot. Okay, whatever, that's something you get off on or whatever. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but my point is, if you're married to a twin, that does not make it okay to cheat with the twin because whatever about your marriage. That's stupid. That's idiotic. And it doesn't make sense. It's just weird. Yeah. But like I said, even still, with as scummy as he was, I think she made stupid moves too, right? Like, you're not going to live the rest of your life disguised as Eve. It's not like that's going to be a thing. Your personality is your personality. It can change a little bit over time, but you're not going to, like, if you're an introvert, you're not going to suddenly become an extrovert. That's just not a thing. You just won't. Right? It's how you, like, for example, introvert versus extrovert, that's how you draw energy from the world. An introvert draws energy by being isolated more and being involved in watching shows, reading books, doing art, whatever it is that you enjoy doing. But that's introvert. You enjoy doing it on your own, right? Extrovert draws energy from big crowds. You know, being at a party, being at a conference or convention, speaking at a conference or convention, okay? That stuff they draw energy from. You're not going to start getting energy, you're going to start your life getting all this energy from being isolated and then suddenly shift where you get all this energy from being around people. That doesn't make any sense. That literally makes no sense. You're not going to suddenly get energy from a different source, right? So my point in that specific example is just changing your personality entirely. That's not a thing. That's not a solution to a failed marriage. It really isn't. Talking things through and trying to find a way forward together is how you solve the problem. Not, I'm changing my personality entirely because reasons. That doesn't solve anything. Anyway, okay. So we had a lot of side conversation. Let's continue with the video.
He wanted to be with me.
Okay, let's back up a little bit.
She put on my wig, some of my clothes.
Yeah, where she's trying to
be me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror.
Oh, and this is what got us on that topic in the first place, right? Yeah, so Simon has decided he wants to be with Eve. Now, I don't know if that's if he was correct in saying that. I don't mean that he was lying. Maybe he thought he meant that. But I think that saying that is not true. I think he's incorrect. He says that's what he wants, but I don't think that that's correct. I think he's wrong. I think he's mistaken in saying he wants to be with Eve. Because he'd only been with Eve once, right? That night at the club where they slept together. Eve, as far as I remember from the interviews and from this video we're watching, they did not develop a full relationship or anything after that night. They had one night of passion, and he decides now he wants to be with Eve? That's probably not because he wants to actually be with Eve, right? He might even believe that that's what he wants. I don't think that's right, though. The fact that he got kicked out by Hannah, and now he says he wants to be with Eve, I think that's an example that he is panicking, right? He's like, oh crap, my relationship's over. And so he's just reacting. He wants to be with Eve because Hannah doesn't want him anymore. That doesn't mean he actually wants to be with Eve, right? So, interesting. And notice also, like I'd mentioned earlier, he gives Eve the same gift, basically, that he gave Hannah. He gives Eve a mirror. That was your gift for Hannah. Although, in fairness, the mirror was a guilt gift. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they both have their strengths, right? If you have somebody who is an introvert, a lot of times those end up being very successful, or not successful, very happy. How do I want to say this? People who are introverts may very often have a happy marriage and happy family life, right? Because an introvert doesn't mean doesn't necessarily mean you don't want to be around anybody, just not large groups of people, right? If I'm an introvert father, let's say, if I'm a father and a husband and I'm an introvert, I might be happy going to work, doing my 9-to-5 job. Maybe I don't like my job even, but I'm happy living a life where I do my work during the day and then I come home and I spend all of my time with my family. Right? An introvert just means that you like to be, it doesn't necessarily mean you want to be alone. An introvert just means you don't like large groups of people. But if you have a family of like a wife, a husband, and 2 kids, that probably is completely fine for you as an introvert in most cases. Maybe extreme introverts don't like, maybe even for extreme introverts, that's too many people. But for most introverts, I think like something like a spouse and a couple of kids is a small enough group that you're fine. You have a lot of energy with them. You love spending time around them, right? So I think it depends on what you want out of life as well, not just being introvert versus extrovert. But, I mean, yeah. Everybody has a different perspective on what they would like and stuff. And I just try to say, try to learn to be happy with yourself. I don't mean that you should never change. We obviously talked about that already. You should want to change over time. Try to be better, a better human over time, right? But you should be happy with yourself. Like, you should never be hard on yourself and talk down about yourself like, I'm not very good, I suck. I say I suck when I play games and stuff, but I don't mean, first of all, I don't mean that I actually suck in general. I'm actually happy with who I am. But also, when I say I suck in games, I'm kind of half joking, right? Because I make mistakes, but I replay and I learn with the game as I go along, right? So I don't, when I say I suck at a game, I just mean like I did something stupid or whatever. I don't mean that I actually suck at the game, okay? And I might even suck at the game. It doesn't mean I look down on myself. It just means I'm not very good at this particular game. Oh, well, I don't need to be good at everything. Moving on, right? So, but yeah, so that aside then, just to try to emphasize that when I say I suck in a game or something, I'm not actually like down on my personality. My point is just, I think you should learn to be okay with yourself. If you're not already, you should learn to accept who you are and be happy with it. This is who I am. This is how I am. That's okay. That just means these things. I cannot be around large groups of people, or I need to understand that I'm not good at music, or I need to be okay that I'm never good with math, whatever it might be, right? Learn to be okay with who you are, and then just figure out, based on who I am and what I like to do and what I'm good at, where does life take me? And figure that out, right? That's the journey that everybody should be on, I think. Anyway.
Just like the one he'd given her earlier.
Yeah. See, and it's not just a mirror. He got a mirror just like the one he gave her earlier. You give her a mirror because you feel guilty, and then you give Eve a mirror to try to hook up? What? This Simon guy is all kinds of screwed up. He does not know how to run a good relationship, it sounds. Like even I, who've had many failed relationships, no, this is not the stuff you do in relationships. What the frick?
That unique present.
Yeah. See, she's not happy about it. That upset her clearly. She's like, yeah, you got me the same damn mirror you got Hannah. The same mirror you gave her out of guilt. You give to me to try to say you want to be with me? Are you kidding right now? How about I just smash this mirror over your head and then stab you with one of the shards, right?
She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her.
And so now she's talking about the fight. So, my understanding now is at first they didn't know about each other. Simon cheats with Eve at the club. Eve gets pregnant. Simon comes back not knowing Eve's pregnant. He spends time with Hannah. Hannah finds out from Eve that Eve got pregnant. She does not know Simon's the father, but she finds out Eve got pregnant. Simon is talking with Hannah. Hannah mentions that her sister Eve is pregnant and needs help, needs a place to stay, needs us to help out. Simon starts to put two and two together. He starts to realize, oh, am I the father? Crap. Hannah realizes that. They have an argument. Simon starts realizing that. It's like, oh crap. I think maybe a later conversation. Simon gives the mirror to Hannah, his way of an apology, although he doesn't tell Hannah that he did anything, right? He gives Hannah the mirror because he feels guilty, but Hannah still doesn't know. Then they start hang on. Okay. Let me reconstruct one more time. Starting over. Not all the way over, but Simon cheats with Eve at the club. Eve gets pregnant. Simon does not know. Simon comes back, feels guilty, gives the mirror, the special mirror, to Hannah because he feels guilty. Whether it's the same or a later conversation, Hannah and Simon are talking. Hannah has learned from Eve that Eve is pregnant. Eve might need Hannah's help. So Hannah decides that she needs to help Eve. So she talks to Simon about it. Then during that conversation, Simon realizes he might be the dad. Hannah notices how Simon responds and goes, wait, what? Is it you? Simon, are you the one Eve had a baby with? They have a big fight. Hannah breaks the mirror and Simon hits Hannah, giving Hannah a bruise. Hannah kicks Simon out. Simon talks to Eve and says, I want to be with you. And gives Eve the same kind of mirror, the unique gift, like Eve just said. Gives Eve the same mirror that he gave Hannah, that Hannah has now broken. And Eve realizes it's the same mirror. So she's not impressed. Yeah. I'm not, again, okay? I do not believe Simon deserved death. But I do believe that both Hannah and Eve should never talk to Simon again. Because he's clearly a scumbag, yeah.
So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open.
Uh-huh. So, before the conversation where the mirror broke is when he gave Eve the mirror. Yep. So I think the order of events is Simon meets Eve at the club, Eve gets pregnant, Simon leaves. Simon feels guilty, gives the mirror to Hannah. Hannah then learns from Eve. Eve got pregnant. Hannah decides to help Eve. Hannah talks with Simon about it. Simon has a guilty look on his face. Hannah kicks Simon out. Simon gives a mirror to Eve and says, hey, I want to hook up with you. You're the one I want. I don't want to be with Hannah anymore. Then, at some point, Eve ended up at the hospital in Glasgow after she took a drive, so Simon goes up there and visits her. Simon then goes back home to Hannah. Hannah dressed up like Eve, tried to act like Eve. They had some kind of a fight again. Hannah breaks the mirror, grabs a shard of glass from it, and then slices Simon across the throat. I think that's the order of events. What do you mean gave in? So Eve here gave in Hannah? Gave in to Hannah, maybe? Is that what you mean? So Eve basically accepted that Hannah should keep Simon or something? I'm not sure what you're saying with the last statement.
Yikes. So Eve returns home and finds Simon dead.
I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room.
And Hannah is there, covered in blood. The two hide the body, and then the watch.
The watch. That was my touch.
They set the time to when Eve is in Glasgow to make the alibi stick. Eve, pretending to be Hannah, then goes to the police, saying Simon is missing.
So Eve then pretends to be Hannah. Right. So Hannah killed Simon. They try to cover it up by adding a watch to Simon, making the time the same time when Eve was in Glasgow. And then Eve goes to the police pretending to be Hannah and says Simon is missing. Interesting. Yeah, they tried to cover it up. They buried the body together, right? The two of them together buried the body. Probably Hannah cleaned up all the blood and stuff, of course. Eve pretended to be Hannah, just in case, so she wouldn't have DNA in her fingernails or anything, right? So Eve pretended to be Hannah, because if Hannah showed up, they could get DNA samples or something. Because in the 90s, DNA was a thing back then. So just in case, so there's no DNA evidence or anything, Eve pretends to be Hannah and goes to the police, while Hannah herself is getting cleaned up or whatever. They're both guilty, although in different ways. So Eve is guilty of conspiracy, not to commit murder. What would it be? Conspiracy, obstruction of justice. Yeah. Yep. She's just guilty. Not even conspiracy. Eve is guilty of obstruction of justice, right? She's hiding the body and pretending to be Hannah and stuff. So she's trying to help Hannah not get in trouble. So Eve is guilty of obstructing justice. Hannah is guilty, of course, of obstructing justice also, but also Hannah is, of course, guilty of murder. Yeah.
Eve, pretending to be Hannah, then goes to the police, saying Simon is missing. She returns a few days later and says she found the body.
I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body.
But things start to get a bit messy when the police find hairs from Eve's wig.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else?
And then the police, like you do, suspect Hannah of being two people.
Twins? Really?
Finally, Eve confesses all, as you've seen in the clips above. Eve then asks for a lawyer.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
And then we get the final word on Hannah.
My sister is gone. And she's never coming back.
And that's the story, or at least that's what we hear from Eve. Maybe there's more to it. Perhaps Eve and Hannah aren't different after all, and this is just some maniacal plea to get out of jail. Or maybe Eve murdered Simon and is blaming Hannah. That much is up to you to decide. Let us know your theories in the comments below. But thank you for watching.
Okay. So that is pretty much where we leave that off. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Okay. So instead of telling police, oh, hang on one second here. Hang on. I want to do this. Hang on. How do I have it on this? I have it as it's no, yeah, okay. This. Okay, let me pull this over here. Pull this over here, and we'll shrink this. Webcam. That. This. There. Here, maybe. I'm rearranging everything now. Okay, and then socials. Let's move these over here. No, incorrect. Gosh dang it, I did not mean to do that. Piece of crap. Socials. This one. There we go. Do it like that. Actually, I'll do these down here. This up here. And I guess I move stuff to the side more so that it's more centered or something. I don't even know. I mean, I should honestly, I should should have redone this a while ago anyway, so I can keep chat up. So it's fine. Just move it over. This. There. This. All right, that's good enough, I guess. Hey, Cosmic, welcome. Okay, so instead of telling police the accident while having an argument, they decide to make it look like they killed him like crazy witches. Genius. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. The strongest part of the game is right at the start when you have big expectations of the ending, when you find out you're Hannah's daughter. Overall story not as interesting as surprising as thought it would be. Like I said, it was an experiment in doing like storytelling in a game, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I agree. It wasn't as strong as it could have been, but I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. I tend to like games like this more than a lot of people do because I enjoy kind of the journey as well a lot. But with this game, wish it was fixed ending and not like this. Let yourself figure it out because it's deep story like Soma or other games that require you to think deeply about psychological part of our lives. Because it's not a deep story. Yeah. Yep. No, I agree. I agree. All right. Well, that is her story. Oh, you know what would work better even? If I did this. Still like this. I know I keep moving stuff. Sorry. Let's actually do this. Yeah. This. Mostly now. Let's move it a little bit now. This. This. Here. Where did the chat kind of end? This kind of does only work here, though. I don't know. It's just because it's so wide. Whatever. It's fine, I guess. All right, sure. We'll call that good. I don't know. I don't know what a good layout is. I've never really thought out until just a second. Yeah. Yep, definitely. No, I think that's right. I think that's one of the advantages of something like this on stream is that you can have conversations about things like relationships that otherwise you might not have, right? So I definitely think that's right. That's good. Well, we just finished her story, Cosmic. And I guess the summary is well, I think what they explained in the video is probably correct. So the most likely scenario is Eve and Hannah are twin sisters. Eve was almost not born. Like, so they were twins when they were born. Hannah survived just fine. Eve almost did not survive, but she did. But because she only just survived, the parents didn't know. And so Eve got adopted by a like a wet nurse, basically. So they lived separately, grew up, they met each other at some point, and ended up staying together. And Hannah's parents died when that happened because Eve and Hannah had already met. Florence, the wet nurse, the stepmom, or whatever, agreed to take, or the adoptive mom, agreed to take Hannah in as well. So Hannah went to live with Eve and Florence, the wet nurse. They grew up together. They were really close. Had a lot of similarities. And so they started sharing a bunch of stuff, including they shared boys. So when they were in high school and stuff, they would have that, like, one of them would sleep with the boy, the other one would get to sleep with the same boy. Eventually, when they became adults, Hannah found a boy she really thought she loved, and so she got married to this guy named Simon. And she told Eve, I know we've done this in the past, but the rules are different. We're not sharing Simon. Simon's mine. He's my husband. You don't get to be with him. So Eve moved out, lived in a bedsit on her own. She had kept dating other guys. Hannah, in her marriage, Simon got Hannah pregnant. And so Simon and Hannah were going to have a baby. Eve got kind of, not upset exactly, but Eve got frustrated that she could not be pregnant also because Hannah was pregnant. So Eve started sleeping with guys trying to get pregnant. She did not get pregnant. Hannah was pregnant, but Hannah had a miscarriage. Now, at some point in all of this, the marriage between Simon and Hannah started breaking down. Simon went sometimes to a local pub, spending time away from his marriage with Hannah because their marriage was not working. So Hannah eventually just kind of got used to Simon going out, not always spending time at home. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. We weren't sure about that, but otherwise. So, because Simon spent time at pubs and stuff, Hannah was not surprised when one night Simon was gone. But in this case, Simon was not at the pub. Simon instead went to a club where he saw Eve performing. Eve was singing. Eve demonstrated she could sing and stuff by playing guitar in some of the interviews. Eve met Simon there, but only because Simon approached her. So basically, Simon went to the club, saw Eve singing, thought, she looks like Hannah. That's weird. After Eve was done performing, Simon went up and talked to her. They started flirting. Simon and Eve both, Simon let things get too far, and he ended up sleeping with Eve. Now, at the time, I don't know that Eve knew Simon was Hannah's husband, although I think she did. But anyway, so that happened. And then after they slept together, Eve found out Simon got her pregnant. Simon went back home. Simon felt guilty for sleeping with Eve. So he gave Hannah a mirror that he made himself at the Glacier. He made a special mirror for her and gave it to her. And so Simon felt guilty and gave her the mirror, but Simon did not yet reveal that he did anything. After that happened, Hannah and Eve were still talking, and Eve told Hannah that she managed to get pregnant. And they started talking more, and because Eve was living in a bedsit, it's not a very good place to raise a child and stuff. Hannah was like, well, you should come and live with us. Let me talk to Simon, but you should come live with us. We'll help you out. So Hannah talks to Simon about Eve. Says, hey, my sister Eve is pregnant. she's not in a good situation. We need to bring her to live with us. Simon puts 2 and 2 together, goes, oh, starts looking very guilty. Hannah notices Simon looks guilty. She figures it out and says, you piece of garbage. She kicks Simon out because he cheated on her. They even, Hannah even talks about how Simon could never have cheated and stuff. She knows he did when they were having interviews and she said he couldn't cheat. But she, I think, still also was partly trying to convince herself that Simon wouldn't have cheated on her. Like, how could he have done that, right? Anyway, so she kicks Simon out. Simon, while he's kicked out, she kicks Simon out. Then she gets on the phone with Eve and they have a big fight. Well, she gets on the phone and tells Eve, come here. I need to talk to you. Eve goes over to Hannah's house. They have a big fight. Hannah and Eve, in the process of fighting, Eve punches Hannah. Hannah gets a big bruise on the side of her face. Okay, so Hannah's bruised here. Eve leaves and goes for a drive at night up to Glasgow, another city. Okay? Simon finds out, I guess he calls her or something. Simon calls Eve and learns that she's up in Glasgow. He goes up there to meet her. He also gives her another mirror. So he gave Hannah a mirror because he felt guilty. Then he gives Eve a mirror saying he wants to be with Eve. That's just silly. But anyway, so he did that. And then Simon, I think Eve tells Simon no, basically. Simon goes back home, and he and Hannah have another fight. In that fight, Hannah breaks the mirror that Simon gave her, and with one of the shards of glass, she slices him across the throat and kills him. Hannah then calls Eve, Hannah kills him. Eve comes back, presumably decided after her drive to Glasgow, she's cooled off, she's going to come and talk to Eve, or to talk to Hannah again. Eve comes in, sees Hannah all bloody, with the glass in her hand, Simon on the floor with his throat cut. They work together, they bury Simon's body. Eve, because Eve doesn't have blood or DNA or anything on her, Eve goes to the police pretending to be Hannah, says Simon went missing. Hannah gets cleaned up, and then they have the interviews and all that stuff gets revealed. And then at the end, as we see at the end of this video that we just watched, Eve reveals that Hannah disappeared. Like Anna left and the police are not going to find Hannah. And Eve says she wants to talk to a lawyer so that Eve can hopefully not go to jail also for obstruction of justice. So then Eve gets off because she'll have a good lawyer, I think is the assumption. And Hannah gets off because nobody can find Hannah. So Simon's dead and Hannah gets away with it and Eve helps her, basically is what it amounts to. Yeah, it's kind of an involved story. That's right. Okay. So, just eager to know what videos we've missed, but it seems harder than Smelter even to find out. Yeah. Really wish a video like what we watched was at the end of the game, or some sort of quiz where we do our guesses and try to piece 2 and 2 together, and at the end see what we got wrong and what not. Makes me wonder about their new game. Hope they improved in some of the ways. Yeah, need a sequel to this. Just kidding. Summary plot. There's insane twins and unfaithful man. They sleep together. Man gets killed because he didn't look in the mirror. Yeah, I guess. Didn't realize what a scumbag he is and didn't accept it. Yeah, that's right. Yep. So anyway. So there you go. All right. Well, that's the conclusion. So thanks for joining me. So we did not get to Outlast today, but at least we did successfully finish her story. So next Saturday we will for sure do Outlast from the beginning. I mean, we won't restart Outlast, but from the beginning of the stream we'll just do Outlast next week. So I'll have to change what game is being played when I finish the stream, but anyway, so there you go. Yep, exactly. Exactly. All right, well, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. It's been fun. I will talk to you guys next time. Until then, have fun, stay awesome, and I will be streaming in about 8.5 hours from now. Till then, peace.
Poor spider.
This freaking boy. Oh, that's so sad.